Thanks for joining us. Today, we're going to go ahead and walk you through the installation of our OneScreen GoSafe table stand. Now, you'll see I already have my OneScreen GoSafe already unboxed, and this is how it's going to come. What you will notice is we have this nice cylinder piece already installed on the device, so that way you don't have to worry about any installation of the physical device itself. All you have to remember is when you get this, there's going to be a nut here that you're going to unscrew, and then you're going to go ahead and whittle them off the end of the cables, okay? Now, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and open up the box. This is what's really nice and simple about this installation is that literally you only have the table stand in here. I can go ahead and discard the box and the bubble wrap, and I'm only going to need a screwdriver to complete this installation. Now, from here, again, I mentioned already, it's going to be very important to go ahead and take this nut and take out all the different cables here so that you have it ready to be installed with the table stand. This does need to be off before you go ahead and start installing with the table stand. So I'm going to put this to the side. Now I'm going to flip my guy over. You're also going to notice there's a nice blue strip right here. We'll talk about that in a little bit. You want to make sure that's facing forward ultimately. Now I do have 6 different screws here that I'm going to go ahead and need to unscrew. So let me begin with that. And that way I'm going to be able to take this base plate off to be able to access the additional connections that are going to be inside the table stand for use with your GoSafe. Now that I've taken out all 6 of those screws, I can very easily remove the base plate. As you can see, there's a hole in there. I can just take this out with my finger. I'll go ahead and set this to the side. Now, here's what's important to note. Inside of the base plate, we actually have USB, Ethernet, and power connectivity. So as you can see, these connections are going to connect with those guys. Now, the next step here is I need to make sure that I can go ahead and easily funnel, and I would recommend just doing 1 or 2 at a time, these different connector pieces to go through this system. The reason being the hole's smaller than all of them would be otherwise, and so if you do 1 at a time, you can see how quick and easy it can be. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pull these guys right through. Now here's another big and important piece right here. Before you start connecting these cables, remember, you have the nut here. You want to make sure, again, to funnel these guys, again, just a couple at a time, so that it's nice and easy to get through and relatively quick. So now that I have the nut completely on the cable, real simple, I'm going to pick up the device and I'm going to go ahead and screw this on and make it nice and tight. This is going to secure my GoSafe directly to the table stand base. Now again, another important part here is let's make sure you're paying attention where the GoSafe is facing. And as you can see, my GoSafe is lining up with the blue bar, and that's how you want to have it facing, because that's also going to say that it's on. I'm going to go ahead and place this right back down gently. Now I'm going to grab these cables, and there's going to be the 3 cable connections, power, Ethernet, and USB, that I'm going to need to connect internally of the base plate itself. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect the USB cable. I'm going to grab the power cable, and of course the Ethernet cable. Now remember, the device is Wi-Fi capable, so you don't have to do the Ethernet cable, but it's a great option if you guys want to go ahead and have Ethernet connections to it. Now from here, all you have to do is then cable manage all these cables. Now remember, there are additional cables here for access control systems. So if you need to use these, the great thing is the unit itself is off the base a little bit by having these little nubs, so you could have a cable or 2 coming out from underneath it in case you need to have those cables connected externally with any of your access control systems. So now that I've funneled all the cables back into the base here, all I have to do is take my base plate and screw this back in with the 6 screws that we had taken out previously. Now there's 2 ways you can do this. If you feel comfortable enough, you can hold it with one hand, put the screws in and screw it in yourself, or better yet, you might want to go ahead and have a colleague help you while you hold this with 2 hands, have your colleague go ahead and screw these in for you, okay? I'm going to go ahead and do this myself as I do feel confident in this, but again, recommended to have a colleague help you. I just finished putting all the 6 screws back in. Now I can go ahead and take this guy and place it gently on my platform. Now remember, you want to make sure that the GoSafe is facing the way of this blue line, because this is actually a light. So when you plug it in, it is going to light up to show that you have power to the device. And then don't forget, the reason why we made those internal connections is that we have a power connection here, USB, as well as Ethernet if you choose to use it, though it is Wi-Fi enabled. Thank you so much for joining us today for our installation of our OneScreen GoSafe table stand.